AOC just absolutely shredded Donald Trump on Twitter with regard to the news from the New York Times that he only paid $750 in taxes in 2016 and 2017. AOC said the following. She said, in 2016 and 17, I paid thousands of dollars a year in taxes as a bartender. Trump paid $750. He contributed less to funding our communities than waitresses and undocumented immigrants. Donald Trump has never cared for our country more than he cares for himself. A walking scam. And I think that's 100% the correct approach. A lot of liberals, a lot of neoliberals are really focusing, and they're only focusing on what this proves is Donald Trump doesn't have as much money as he says, that Donald Trump isn't a successful businessman. And I'm not saying you can't talk about that. But what AOC and what Bernie Sanders as well have been focusing on is how Donald Trump, in a sense, is not just evading taxes to enrich himself. He's doing it to effectively steal from communities, from federal and state and local governments, to basically make it harder for those groups to provide the services people need. That when you look at why schools, why all of our services at every level are so underfunded and ineffective, and you can look at more than one reason, of course, but Donald Trump and other wealthy people able to earn millions and somehow only pay less than $1,000 in federal taxes, that's part of the problem. And AOC is right in noting that while we have this ethos that we have these givers and takers, and the givers are people like Trump and other wealthy people, and the takers are undocumented people and working class people, people that maybe depend to some degree on social programs. But in essence, those people are giving all they can and often much more. And they are doing more in a real sense day to day to make their neighborhood and their country better than Donald Trump and people like Trump. And I also have to note here that AOC really hones in on hypocrisy based on economics, but also gender when she talks about haircuts, because it's found within these documents that Trump may spend upwards of $70,000 on hair-related treatments, and yet AOC was harangued in the media for days, seemingly, last year when it came out that she spent a couple of $100s on some hair work, getting her hair done, a couple hundred. And she says the following: last year, Republicans blasted a fire hose of hatred and vitriol my way because I treated myself to a $250 cut and lowlights on my birthday. Where's the criticism of their idol spending $70,000 on hairstyling? Oh, it's nowhere because they're spineless, misogynistic hypocrites. Got it. Again, it's perfect. You know, Trump can do whatever he wants. He can spend whatever he wants. He can get away with anything, whether it's his own opulence funded through tax evasion, or whether it's the umpteen amount of golf trips funded by the taxpayer. He can get away with it, and he deserves it, and he's earned it. But when someone like AOC, who's worked extremely hard, who became a congresswoman and treated herself a little bit, $250's not no money. A lot of people couldn't afford that, but it's nothing exorbitant necessarily. And it's this massive international story, seemingly. No matter what, the Republicans are always going to portray themselves, the rich and wealthy are always going to portray themselves as givers, and everyone else, especially poor people, racialized people, as takers. And it doesn't matter if that's objectively false, if the takers are actually givers, and if the givers are actually takers. It doesn't matter. That's their narrative. And again, I don't expect this $750 tax story to end Donald Trump. I think numbers are largely baked in. People who are voting for Trump are baked in. People that aren't are largely baked in. But this is illustrative of how tax-based propaganda works. The next time someone tells you that the rich and wealthy and well-connected pay for everything while the rest skate by, remember that when it comes to proportion of income, and in some cases even raw amounts, you're paying more than the richest people in the country.